If you are close to burnout or in burnout right now, the most important thing for you to do is to learn to slow down, connect to the body, and open yourself to a different approach to life as what has brought you into the burnout in the first place. And by this I mean is there's this thinking, there's a belief in our world right now that we can, think our way or plan our way through anything through a belief system. So if I give myself time, if I give myself the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks off to rejuvenate and to come back to self, then it's going to solve my burnout issue. Or I've already quit my job, and so then therefore I'm taking all the steps that I can to avoid being in burnout. And so then therefore I should be getting better. And the beliefs of this not being like me, that not having energy, or even having judged others who went through burnout before I found myself in this place, all of that is what leads or what led you to being in burnout or coming close to it. So if there's something inside of yourself, or if you're already there in your burnout, or you know that you are close, it is the connection with your body that is going to make that shift for you. And it takes time. Because when you start opening yourself to all of the signals of the body, you're going to be flooded with a lot of information that you have learned to ignore throughout your life that has caused you to ignore your triggers, to ignore your emotional reactions, to stuff away and throw away those natural connections that are there to guide you. That internal communication is there to guide you, not anybody else, into what is right for you in your life and what is not right for you in your life. And when you've lived a life of disconnect and you've moved into the mind, into all of the beliefs about identity, about what kind of person you are, what kind of people end up in burnout, what it means to be in burnout, what it means to heal yourself from burnout and pop back into whatever life it was that you are not able to maintain in burnout. Slow down and feel. Feel the discomfort that will arise. I'm telling you, there will be discomfort. And it's not to have you trying to maneuver around it. The body was trying to speak to you, and it had to get louder and louder and louder until it started screaming. And the screaming is, you have no more energy. You cannot do this anymore. No matter how much you thought that you could, when the body starts screaming, there is nothing left for you to do but listen. And some people need to get to that point in order to learn, to relearn and reset your approach for life, how you do life. And it starts with reconnecting to feel those initial sensations, and that means slowing right down. Slowing down the ideas that it's going to be 3 weeks or 3 months. Letting go of a goal of when you're going to be healthy again, or when you're going to be able to do things again, because there's a whole journey of acceptance when you have burnout. And there's an understanding of how you get there. But then what do? There's also an insecurity that comes when you start really listening to yourself and you really take the time to do nothing for a while. And that is uncomfortable for a person who has been in burnout because they've done everything. You've done everything in your power not to stop and be with yourself, to really feel that you needed rest, that you needed to listen to something else. You needed to create something else with that energy. So to really back yourself out and be with that discomfort, grow your capacity to be with that wave of being as well. And it's not only that it will be uncomfortable, that when you unlock that part of you that is scared to feel that discomfort or the pain or the emotion that you've been running away from, or the realization that there's a connection between your body, your mind, your soul energy. You are one. You are not separate. And when you somehow have learned to disconnect so much that you don't even realize that you're believing yourself to be separate, then you deplete. You deplete what is there. And when you let go of all of those expectations and you open yourself to the discomfort and all that you've been running away from, it also opens up your capacity to feel the joy, the love of life. What we label as all the positive energies and emotions. So when you're capping yourself on one side of the spectrum, you're capping yourself on the other side as well. And so if you allow yourself to start feeling, you'll get more feeling of your joy and your love and your life force energy as well. But the key is really slowing down and letting go of all of that expectation. I've had clients who got angry because there was a body that wasn't functioning and like in the way that she wanted it to function anymore. And she had all these ideas about what kind of person she was, what she wanted to offer and gift into the world with her energy, and what she would like to do. But her body was saying no. And there was a frustration there because somewhere she realized that she had to listen to her body, but she didn't want to. She wanted to be up here with all of her beliefs and not live in the whole. And that creates a duality inside, a struggle inside. And as long as we continue to ignore that, it depletes us. I've had people who have allocated themselves time to go through their burnout, and it just doesn't work like that. So I've taken 3 weeks off because I feel like I'm moving towards burnout, and I've already taken last week off, and so another 3 weeks, and then I should be okay again. I can just pop back into my job. Or I've quit my job, and I have taken, the next 2 months off, and then I'll start a new job, and it will be okay. And so all of the planning, and it's okay to have the urge or the feel, perhaps to even to have that there because of your value of security or safety, that you want to have that reassurance at the end. But ultimately, you cannot. It's just like saying, I'm going to have a good idea next week, Friday at 2:00. You can't make yourself have a great idea or, activate that creativity at that time. And you can't put your healing into that kind of schedule either. So burnout is your body screaming at you. And it was not always screaming at you. But the body started screaming at you because it was ignored for so long. So there is a lot of healing to be done. if you've neglected the body and neglected therefore yourself for that long. There's a lot of, reconnection, internal exploration to be done there. And it is not just understanding or analyzing it with the brain. It's learning how to feel and learning how to create reconnections inside so that you can navigate and guide yourself back with the energy that you do have, because there's a big disconnect with your actual energy and who you actually are and what you're actually capable of. And this also comes from, I believe that we have an abundance of energy, an abundance of it. But I believe that that abundance comes when we truly tap into our needs and we really connect with ourselves in what our yes, what our no is, what brings us energy, what depletes us. And we follow that inner intuition, our inner guide, so that the body only whispers. And there's a flow that happens. And it also means, it doesn't mean that we have an abundance that we can, our body can continue without rest, that we need no sleep. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I really do experience a lot more energy when listening to my inner voice. When I say no, even though everything, seems to be really positive about a situation, but I really need to be alone, or I really need to take time out to sleep or to meditate or to do whatever it is that I need to do to nourish myself, and say no or say yes when necessary. And it's also understanding this two-sided, this decision of the yes and the no, and that saying no to the external is a yes for yourself. So to understand that that's connected, that I may say no to you or to a situation in a moment, but I'm actually saying yes internally to myself. And to start understanding all those fine communication signals that we receive. So slow down and feel. Let go of having a time limit for your healing, because it will get in your way. You will get in your own way, your own healing. Slow down. And yes, it's a challenge. It is a challenge because you're relearning an internal language, but it is your language. So innately you know it. You've just learned to start listening to something else in the meantime. So it's a remembering, a deep remembering of you. I hope that supports you if you feel that you're in that stage of your life right now, where you're either going through the healing process of burnout, because there's so much burnout right now. So many people are depleting themselves, and it's an internal journey. No one else can guide you through it. People can support you along the way. So please do go and get the support that you need. Don't think that you need to do everything by yourself. There is some deep diving that needs to be done if you find yourself depleted like that. Absolutely. For me personally, it started a journey of really connecting with my emotions. My emotions are there to give me the information that I need. And when I slow down, and there's so many layers of slowing down, there have been, year after year, I learn how much slower I can be to absorb and find the fascination in the moment. Because there's so much happening inside of our being that there's so much to explore. And the more I slow down, the more magic I feel internally. which really supports me in guiding myself through this life. And I've been in burnout. I've been laying in bed for 9 months because I kept trying to fight it. Or laying in bed, maybe not the solid 9 months, but really ending up back because I tried to fight it. And the invitation, and that's why I'm really sharing this with you, the invitation is to slow down, to open yourself to that part, get the support that you need, to let go of the expectations of being able to plan in your healing, because it's just not going to work like that. For some people, it goes a little bit quicker than others, but you don't want to end back up in burnout. So it is really a moment, an opportunity to reevaluate how you do life and what it is that you really want. I'd love to hear from you. As always, thank you. One love.